Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Horton, I would first like to thank probation for the report they put together. Ms. Horton is 22 years of age. She does reside out of the county, but is more than willing to come back into the county for any kind of probation. The facts of this case were not good. And I'm going to say that before the prosecutor does, because yep.
She may use different terminology, but I think we're in the same ballpark.
But the point is that Ms. Horton understands that. She appeared at the time of the attorney pretrial and took responsibility and took the offer. She has engaged with some AA classes prior to this. She's been working on a substance abuse assessment. She's remorseful about what happened and ready to take responsibility. I would ask, in looking at the recommendation, I see that there is 1 day to serve on a weekend. Ms. Horton does have children, so if the court imposes that consequence, I would ask that it be scheduled and or lumped in with the deferred days. And I would also ask that one of the probation goals be that the probation officer helps Ms. Horton achieve her GED. She did not receive her diploma and she left at the time of 10th grade.
All right, Ms. Campfield.
Well, Ms. Strong is absolutely correct that this was a very serious accident. And if I may have the court review some photographs that have already previously been electronically provided to the defense, and then I did allow them to see this morning. That's just
Olivia Horton, just 22 years old, stood before the court after crashing into a yard and porch with a shocking 0.204 blood alcohol level. What began as a day off turned into a near-fatal accident. Airbags deployed, a tree snapped, and her ankle was shattered in a crash that could have killed someone.
an oversight of the accident. You can see it was a clear, dry evening. There were some slight yaw marks indicating that maybe she did try to brake, but she went off across a yard. And thankfully, the tree was small enough that she snapped it and continued on rather than killing herself, crashing into a larger tree. She just missed a huge landscaping boulder, but then eventually went through another smaller garden and ended up in their porch. She did injure herself in the accident. You can see from the photographs that the airbags also deployed when she struck at the tree and then subsequently the porch. So it was very serious with the blood alcohol of a 0.204. It's also extremely concerning at her young age, and at least explanation that she's given to probation that she doesn't drink very often, but every time she does drink, she drinks to excess. And her intention is to get drunk. That concerns me. And I disagree with, maybe the members at the AA meetings where she has attended have a more significant problem with alcohol, but I still believe that she does if the intention each time of consuming is to actually get to intoxication. And even more concerning here was her response to her employer that, yes, I'll come into work at that intoxication level.
Well, yeah, she was going to work.
Yes, yes.
I have a guy in sobriety court right now. He was a mailman and he was on duty as a mail carrier with a 0.20 blood alcohol level. And we've had some other people that were, this just makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up.
It does.
And then she says, I don't really drink very much, but when I do, you drink a lot to get a tolerance to get that drunk and then go to work. Oh my gosh.
And
maybe
so,
you would have lost your job, I think, if you'd shown up that drunk.
I think the positives here are that she's recognized it, she's taken responsibility, she's looking to better herself and deal with it, although I think there's still some denial as to the seriousness of the issue. With her being employed and having young children, it's alarming. I don't know, hopefully she's not drinking at home around the children. But in this particular circumstance, this is one of those cases in which I would recommend straight up front jail. It's hard for me in these circumstances to say that deferred jail is appropriate, because frankly, when they're placed on probation, any jail is going to be deferred if they violate. But in this circumstance, with the severity of the accident, like, thank heavens, nobody was in that yard and no one was on that porch that could have been killed.
Well, let me ask this, Miss Horton. Where did you start this journey? In Edwardsburg?
Yes,
So you made it all the way from Edwardsburg to there where you had the crash?
yes,
Ugh. Were you drinking on the way?
no,
Ugh. Um,
Prosecutors revealed she drank multiple vodka drinks and twisted teas before attempting to drive nearly 40 minutes to work. Marijuana was also active in her system. The judge called the situation deeply self-destructive, warning that this wasn't just a bad decision, it was a dangerous pattern.
which way did you come from Edwardsburg?
I was in Edwardsburg and I came down 12
Okay, in Fawn River.
and
All right. I'll give you a chance to tell me more when I hear from the others. All right.
I think, Your Honor, she had
Yeah.
indicated to the police officer that she had begun drinking in the afternoon and had had quite a number, 5 to 6 full-size drinks, a normal cup size, she said, of New Amsterdam vodka mixed with Dr. Pepper.
Well, I think
And
I have
then-
to call that something. I'm not sure what you call that.
She referred to them as twisted teas.
I think twisted teas were also in addition to that.
Mhm. She had
That-
smoked marijuana the night prior, which was also in her system. I do note that there was a sedative in the system, but I believe that was administered at the hospital or in the ambulance on the way to for pain medication prior to the blood being drawn, so I don't think she partook of that prior to the accident, but I am very concerned about polysubstance use here in somebody that young and arising to this level to result in the severity of the accident that did occur. She is so lucky that she didn't hit one of the larger trees in that yard and kill herself. I mean, it is very, very serious, and then her children would be without a mother.
And her license was expired.
Mhm.
There's more going on here, Miss Horton. This is so very self-destructive. This is, you're punishing yourself. There's some underlying issues we need to get a handle on. And I don't want you to smoke marijuana. If you're gonna get a medical marijuana card, I might as well just put you in jail right now. I'm not gonna let you trade alcohol for marijuana. You're old enough to smoke marijuana, but it's a condition of probation that you not use it.
I won't, but it was for my heart condition. It wasn't, I have a severe, severe heart condition. It wasn't for.
I would be surprised if your cardiologist prescribes marijuana for your heart condition. Maybe a marijuana doctor might say it cures migraines, ingrained toenail, and heart condition. Ingrown toenail, but a cardiologist isn't going to tell you to smoke marijuana as part of your heart regimen. Maybe it helps you sleep, maybe otherwise, but if you're gonna do it, I might as well just put you in jail, get it over with. Then you can smoke all the recreational or medical marijuana you want. But we got issues we need to deal with. As she indicated, this was bad. Now, the other guy, he got an impaired. He got a bunch of criminal history, but it was his first drinking driving. His blood alcohol was close to what yours was. And he ended up on the lawn in front of Applebee's after drinking Long Island iced teas. He got a sweet deal. Yours, they stopped at operating while intoxicated, which I understand because you got this dramatic accident in these people's front yard. But this is going to prohibit you from driving.
I understand.
He got a restricted license. What's that going to do to your employment?
I get drove to work every day.
Somebody takes you to work every day?
Yeah, and somebody drove me here. I understand. how
Who
bad
drives
it
you
is.
to work?
My boyfriend or my job comes and gets me.
All right, very good. Who watches your kids while you're at work?
My grandma,
You've also got a foot injury. Tell me about that.
I in the accident, my ankle went out of the front of it. So it went through the skin and I shattered my entire ankle. So I have plates and screws throughout my ankle. So I will never walk again the same again. And I will have to go through several different surgeries for it. And because of it, it has put a strain in my knees. So this whole leg doesn't work the same as it used to. I understand how serious the accident was.
Well, that's a permanent reminder of a temporary feeling. You're gonna carry that for the rest of your life. Priscilla is a longtime clerk in probation, but new as a probation agent. And Priscilla, this is gonna be a probation that's gonna need some supervision. What else would you like to add, if anything?
I agree with Ms. Canfield. This was a very serious accident. At the time of the screening, I don't think I was aware as to how severe it was, being noted from Ms. Horton. She did tell me that she broke her ankle. After I spoke with Ms. Horton and I reviewed the police report, I saw how severe this accident really was. Like Ms. Canfield said, she injured herself, but she could have injured someone else. It's almost a 40-minute drive from Edwardsburg to her job. She's very lucky that she did not cause an accident or kill someone on her way. I mean, she caused an accident to herself, but she didn't kill someone on the way here. I do think at least a day in jail is warranted. I understand that Ms. Horton has kids, but we need to protect, the people in our society. And I know she learned I hope she learned her lesson by this injury that she attained from this accident. But I do think some jail is warranted, and 24-month probation for her to watch the victim impact panel as well. And I agree that Ms. Campbell said, yes, Ms. Horton stated that she took some AA courses and the people there may not believe she has an issue with alcohol, but it takes a lot to get to a 0.204 and to think it's okay to drive to work.
Well, we need some treatment. Something is going on for a 22-year-old girl to get this drunk in the middle of the day and go to work. What I find is there's unaddressed trauma, childhood trauma or otherwise, in your background, which is causing you to drink like this to kill the pain. And it's a big pink elephant in the room, and I'm not going to ignore it. It's the main thing we need to address. I could just give you 16 days in jail and call it good, and you could go on with your life after that. But there's a reason why you're doing this.
Instead of imposing full jail time up front, the court ordered 24 months of probation and 16 days in jail, with 14 deferred. A full weekend behind bars will serve as immediate accountability. She must attend substance abuse treatment, a victim impact panel, and remain alcohol and drug-free.
Your Honor, I should also note, when I review the laboratory report for the marijuana that was found as well, the Delta 9 THC level was 17 nanograms per ml, which is not a metabolite. That's an active psychoactive substance. I've spoken with the lab scientists about these particular results. It certainly is indicative to me that it wasn't smoked the night prior, as she had indicated.
Either way, as I said on our last case, a high percentage of our drinking driving cases have marijuana also in the picture. It's lawful, and it's hard to tell. If you smoked marijuana 3 days ago, this guy was drinking Long Island iced teas, it might still show up in his system. But I'm going to do a 24-month probation. I'm going to do 16 days, credit 0. Giving 16 days to serve. Of the 16, 14 are deferred. You're going to do a whole weekend in jail. Probation department will arrange that. You'll have to arrange for childcare. Also, this is money away from you and your family. $300 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, and a $50 state minimum fee. $150 screening fee, $150 attorney fee, $960 probation oversight fee, and you can do this in a year, which would save you $480. The sheriff's department did request a restitution, $255. And the victim impact panel. You might someday be a speaker at the victim impact panel. How you almost killed yourself. I'm also recommending substance abuse counseling and treatment, either through Cass County Services or ours, but I want to get a handle on why you're doing this to yourself. Not to drink any alcohol or use any controlled substance, or attend the victim impact panel, or your test as directed. If we gave you a test today, would there be marijuana in it still?
Yes.
All right, well, you're gonna have to get that to 0.
Yes.
I'm surprised that your employer doesn't test for that. If you're doing home health care, you don't have to test for work.
No.
You seem like a nice young woman trying to make your way in the world. You can save yourself a whole lot of grief if we could get a handle on this issue now. How many children do you have?
1, 2, one's adopted.
All right, so you have one child that you're responsible for?
2,
2, okay. Are the child's parents, the dad's involved?
no,
So you're a single mom, living with your grandma. Do you get child support or anything?
no.
All right, you got a lot on your young plate. I'm serious. You could have a whole different course of life if we get a handle on this now. Otherwise, it's gonna be a long, bumpy ride. All right. And if I put you in jail for 16 days, people will say, you should have thrown a book at it, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what I accomplished. You lose your job. Do they know about this?
Yes,
All right. Did they do any employee counseling or anything?
no,
Now, I'm gonna guess at some stuff. You didn't think you were gonna go to work that day, is that correct?
no, it was my day off.
So you got drunk because it was your day off, and then they called you up and said, hey, can you come into work?
I had a few friends over, and then I got called, and then, yeah,
And you didn't want to let them down, so you showed up for work anyway.
yeah,
Well, it all caught up with you.
The judge made it clear this case is about more than punishment. As a young single mother with 2 children, she faces a crossroads. Address the trauma and addiction now, or risk a long, painful path ahead. The court will personally supervise her probation to ensure real change.
You're in Edwardsburg,
yes,
but you work over here. I'm not gonna transfer your case to Cass County. They got good people over there, but so do I. And I want to stay on top of this myself. So we're gonna do your probation here. All right, you go with Priscilla. And
Thank you, Your Honor.
she will get you started. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you, Ms. Strong. All right, Angelique, I know you got a lot on your plate. We've called off the jurors for next Wednesday,
Okay.
and you didn't do any subpoenas for those cases. So if we resolve them, great.
Mhm.
If we don't resolve them,